we're sitting here, and in a week, we have a presidential election.
We do?
We do, yeah.
Oh,
actually, a week from tomorrow,
okay.
actually.
Yeah.
So the world is going to look a little bit different in a week or so.
Right.
And as we're also barreling toward the Field Crop Seed Convention in Orlando this year,
Yep.
what can we say to people about the climate that we're about to walk through before we even get to that convention? There's going to be a lot of change.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've talked quite a bit about with the ASTA team, is that regardless of what the administration looks like after the election, we know that there's going to be a lot of new people in new seats and important seats in Congress. So I would say that one good reason to come to the Field Crop Seed Convention in Orlando would be to get sort of the latest read, latest take on what's going on, and be able to rub elbows with your colleagues and talk a bit more about what that looks like. But there's that, and then what's even, I would say, more cool, and I mentioned this in the article in SeedWorld, is next June we'll actually have our leadership summit in Washington, D.C. So that'll be an opportunity for ASTA members to come in and meet those new Congress people and advocate, and some of it's going to be reinforcing, and some of it might just be educating from really the ground level on what we're trying to do in the seed industry.
Yeah, and that's something that you guys are really good at, is really getting that message across to our legislators in DC about what our industry needs.
Right. Yeah, and I would say very little from like the Dan Fors of the world, but really Andy Levine and his team of ASTA staff are just incredible, super well connected. We as the industry side of the association get pulled in where needed, and certainly are encouraged to be advocates within our local governments and state governments. But really, Andy and the team do a yeoman's job of getting the word out and making sure that when there's things that are coming along that can help, that those get a little extra push, and when there's things that could be negative, that those are looked at a little harder, and hopefully something that isn't negative for our industry finds its way into legislation.
And when you were installed as chair back in the summer,
yep,
you had a big theme of activation.
Yes.
You wanted to activate the membership more than they were already. I mean, yep, you mentioned that the members are very active, but you wanted to really push them.
Yep.
And so 3-4 months in, how's that going?
It's going okay. I would probably give myself maybe a B- if I had to grade it, just because there's been some other stuff happening. But what I would say that's been very cool is Andy and we had endeavored to take a couple of trips to go out and meet members, at their place of business. We got one of those trips done, and so we had to punt on trip 2. So we'll do that in the spring. So I actually got to sit down and visit with members, face to face, and talk with them about engagement, activation in the association. And again, I don't think there's a big problem with activation. It's really how do we take it to the next level. And to that extent, what I've been very pleased with is I think we've had in the last 3 or 4 months at least a half dozen younger people in the industry saying, how can I get more active? And here at the Western Seed Association meeting, we have a booth in the trading room, and we've had people coming up and saying, hey, I've never been to the Field Crop Seed Convention. Can I still get in? And it's of course you can. We'll make room. Mm-hmm. And another company said, I've got a young person that's new to our business and wants to get involved in ASTA. Can they come over and talk to you? So I think it's not a bam in your face like activation, but I think just getting that out there to encourage folks to say there's tons of committees, there's tons of opportunity to get involved, and that's the way you can learn, grow, and help the association and the industry.
Yeah, I was talking a little bit earlier with Stephanie Breckenridge, the president of the Western Seed Association board, and we were talking about the challenge of attracting young people into the seed industry. Yeah. Is that something that you're wanting to do and trying to find creative ways to do that?
Yeah, I'd love to help out, obviously, where I can. I know that many of the land-grant universities have their career days, going on during the fall, and Remington has actually sent a bunch of folks out to visit with people. Interestingly, one of the gentlemen that I spoke with said that this year was one of the most challenging years of finding new college grads for applicants. And I don't know necessarily what that was, but he just said over the last few years, it felt different about folks coming out and, either they already had jobs and weren't, visiting the career fair, or, there was something else going on there. But no, we're obviously only as strong as the next generation coming up into the industry. So I think having a strong association, having strong leaders in our members is what we can hopefully do through our activities in the association.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
pleasure.
sitting down and taking time.
No.
I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.